Ladies and gentlemen, share this segment everywhere. This is extremely important, and it's something that nobody has caught on to. It's something that nobody has realized or addressed. It's an issue that only I'm talking about. It's really a topic that only this channel is focusing on. I am literally the only person talking about this specific issue. And you might say, get to the point. It's been 23 days now. 23 days that the Manhattan District Attorney and prosecutors intent on taking down Trump and his criminal enterprise. It's been 23 days, February 25th, you can count the days, since they received Trump's taxes. Okay? Trump's taxes were obtained by Cy Vance and the Southern District of New York on February 25th. Okay? USA Today, Donald Trump's tax records obtained by New York prosecutors boosting investigation. February 25th, 2021. It is now March 20th, 2021. I think I'm going to do a series on this just every single day. A countdown until they find something. It has been now over 3 weeks. The IRS had his taxes for years and years. It has been over 3 weeks that they've obtained his tax returns, his financial records. We already know, and the link is below, that Deutsche Bank gave $2 billion in loans to President Trump for, several decades. The Mueller probe touched upon his finances, didn't get his tax returns, but the Mueller probe gave him a political and financial colonoscopy that no Democrat has received. Oh my goodness, that sounds fun. And they found nothing. That's my point. 2 minutes and 30 seconds in. Hit subscribe to this channel. Tell your friends about this channel. I'll have a live stream later this evening. Share this segment everywhere. I'm telling you, it's an important point. Because you're going to read articles. This is the other day. Trump's taxes in hand. Manhattan DA probe heats up. AP. NBC with Trump taxes in hand. Manhattan DA's investigation starts to heat up. Everybody has the memo. Market Watch. Manhattan DA Cyrus Vance's probe into Trump's taxes is heating up. Well, what is it? Is it in like a crock pot or something? What? It's heating up? When is it going to actually point to any legal statute being broken? There's zero crime that they've found. Did it take them 3 weeks to look at thousands of pages? Okay, you have a team of prosecutors. You've obsessed over it for 4 years. You kept saying, well, every other presidential candidate has shown his taxes or her taxes. But Trump hasn't. What's he hiding? Well, you have everything now. What did they find? Nothing. Bupka, zero. Nada, zilch. They found nothing. They don't even know what exactly he did, but he must have done something. So they have a grand jury. I don't know how they got a grand jury, but Trump is like this orange Al Capone, tyrant, authoritarian, monster nightmare. He's capable of anything, yet they never find anything. And it's not a matter of him, being Teflon. They literally don't know what he did. With the Mueller probe, they investigated on the potential that he possibly worked with Russian intelligence agencies and operatives, although he didn't. There was never any direct evidence. These were baseless claims based on intelligence reports that have been faulty since the Bay of Pigs, Gulf of Tonkin, WMD, and now this. Now Facebook ads. But they found nothing. The evidence was insufficient. They didn't even impeach Trump on obstruction of justice pertaining to the Mueller probe. Every single controversy and scandal they fabricate because the truth about them is very incriminating. I mean, Clinton had servers with top secret intel, but you better believe that James Comey stated there was no intent. The legal statute pertaining to top secret and special access program intelligence transferred and migrated to servers outside of the United States government doesn't require intent. And anyway, there was intent there. Nobody uses 4 years of private servers as the Secretary of State without wanting to hide information. But again, there's this breakdown of basic logic. You ask somebody what Trump did, they'll say, well, there's an ongoing investigation. Of what? Well, he inflated his net worth. Well, that's an issue with Deutsche Bank. And anybody who knows anything about real estate or investing in real estate or commercial real estate knows that the bank or the lender is going to have a different appraisal or a different value of what a property is worth than the person that owns the property. You can just buy a house and see you're going to offer a price, and the person selling the house will say, nah, it's worth much more. And the bank is going to say, well, whenever you're applying for a loan, they'll say, the collateral isn't worth that much. There's always a difference of opinion in terms of what a property is worth. Deutsche Bank lent him money because they made interest from the loans. They made very likely hundreds of millions of dollars. So which one is it? He inflated his net worth and the bank went under? That's a very successful bank. It's one of the largest lenders on the planet. Where was it? Whitewater? Was there a land deal that went under? Was it a hedge fund that tanked? Where is the financial calamity? Was it Michael Cohen's taxi medallions that are worth a bag of Cheetos? What? Where was the financial calamity here? I want to know. Some Democrat, please tell me below, in the wonderful, morally superior Democrat, tell me what this man did. His personality took on a life of its own. And there needs to be some kind of sober analysis of what his personality has done to people. Because he presided over the Abraham Accords. He was the first president to step foot in North Korea and begin détente between North and South Korea. President Moon Jae-in stated that Trump deserved the Nobel Peace Prize. He's presided over foreign policy accomplishments. May 1st, 2021, we're supposed to officially leave Afghanistan because of Trump, and Biden will keep us there longer. That's why I voted for President Trump. I got what I wanted as a voter. I want an end to never-ending quagmires and regime changes and counterinsurgency conflicts and interventions. And Trump got us a lot closer to that objective, which is the most moral. Like people just, morally superior liberals say, well, climate change, the planet. Well, you know what? You know what's going to end our existence a lot sooner than climate change? Putting a whole bunch of nuclear armed countries in one location, a powder keg, and having a foreign policy that's just belligerent. Oh, well, the Russians are there, so it's important to us. It's like that's not national security. There's no national security concern. I mean, you can say sure there are national security concerns, but 20 years there's no definition of victory. Daniel Bolger wrote a book, Army General, Why We Lost, and he talked about the United States armed forces should be used for quick, decisive victories, and then you get out. You can't patrol streets and cities. You can't do that because you give adversaries the advantage who don't have, trillion-dollar budgets or billion-dollar budgets for defense. You give the adversary, you cannot send Americans, men and women, off to fight never-ending counterinsurgency conflicts where they don't know who the enemy is. These are the lessons we learned from Vietnam. These are the lessons that we should have learned, that Bush, Cheney, and Rumsfeld should have learned. when they got us into this never-ending situation. That's the most moral. I mean, hundreds of thousands of traumatic brain injuries we had in this country. 1 million out of the 2.5 million Americans who've served have been injured in some manner. Everything from traumatic brain injuries to PTSD to hearing loss to back pain to knee troubles. And all we hear about is the latest Twitter morality craze, where they're stuck on the most absurd things by very vocal imbeciles. Twitter is the worst place on the planet. Ideas that would never resonate. Ideas about morality. Ideas about right and wrong that would never resonate outside some kind of forum on the internet now gain traction in Twitter. They're amplified exponentially. And suddenly now, instead of the 2000s Republicans that knew what God was thinking, now you have the high priests of condemnation and judgment and morality on Twitter, who are all Democrats now, or vote Democrat. They're morally superior liberals who can tell 74 million Americans that they're wrong. But the thing is, they get spiritual sustenance from just condemning. They don't have, like, if you were to say to them, it's not even, look, if you were to say, look, I voted for Trump because I want Americans home, they don't even care. They don't care if American soldiers are in harm's way forever. They don't care. And then they cast judgment upon you. Oh, Trump's so mean. Yeah, you know what? He's mean, he's crude sometimes. He's belligerent. He's like a sledgehammer and a bulldozer. And his personality's not for everybody. And I've said, look, he should never have insulted LeBron James. He should never have insulted NFL athletes. He should never have utilized Twitter in the manner that he did, especially towards the end of his tenure, because it turned into a trap. Democrats derived energy and enthusiasm and passion and electricity from just simply opposing Trump. But the way Democrats and morally superior liberals work is, I oppose you. I'm not going to be your friend anymore. I oppose you. It's like, oh, you don't have a leg to stand on in terms of morality. Look who you voted for. Biden, who's pretty much the poster child, the epitome of everything you claim to stand against. Everything. You couldn't find a person who was the antithesis of what the morally superior Twitter high priests have conjured up. Biden is the absolute. Trump is closer. Trump is like Trump didn't vote for Bush, Cheney, and Rumsfeld foreign policy. He didn't write the 100-to-1 sentencing disparities. So they try to search for things that Trump did that was racist in the past. They can't really find anything, but you could sure find stuff from Biden. Things he said, the crime bill, things that he said during the campaign that were swept under the rug. Most of what's taking place, ladies and gentlemen, is a public relations onslaught. Thank God we haven't. Let's put it this way. What President Trump presided over in the early 2000s foreign policy, his misguided foreign policy that was predicated upon the worst day in American history, that I can't talk about on YouTube, but it was the worst day in American history, and he utilized the pain and the suffering and the sorrow and the unity of that moment and the courage of all the people on that day and first responders. And Bush, Cheney, and Rumsfeld misused a moment in history for their own objectives, set us on a course of never-ending conflict. And the Democrats who claimed to oppose them voted for Clinton and then Biden. So they're completely oblivious to the hypocrisy there. Because without Clinton and Biden, they don't get away with everything they got away with. Bush, Cheney, and Rumsfeld. And Bush, and check out my segment prior to this one, Bush is like a hero to Democrats now. They have a favorable view of George W. Bush because Trump is mean. Well, Bush set the planet, literally destabilized an entire region of the world, caused untold suffering and mayhem and chaos and sorrow and civil conflict, and not only did new organizations pop up from the organization that we were battling, but the negative consequences of Bush, Cheney, and Rumsfeld's foreign policy are experienced today throughout the world. So, did Trump do that? No, he's just mean on Twitter. Thank God he's no longer on Twitter. You watch. They'll probably let him back on Twitter before midterms, just to hype up and to create some energy and enthusiasm among Democrats who have no energy and enthusiasm. They live in cyberspace. They have no energy. They have no enthusiasm. Trump brings electricity. If he just toned down his rhetoric, and they blame him for everything now, it's like his words have never caused any, catastrophe. But every horrible, atrocity that takes place, it's Trump. It's Trump. Meanwhile, guess who's president? It's President Biden. This is Biden's America, ladies and gentlemen. Can't blame Trump. Anyway, give me your thoughts below. They found nothing. It's all public relations. They want to simply disparage him every single day and prevent him from running again. If he decides, and hopefully he will easily become GOP nominee. Even Mitt Romney said that. And in 2022, it's funny, you have a lot of Republicans now saying, well, you lost. Like, yeah, well, Mitch McConnell should have given $3,000, not $600, or, not argued with Democrats when Republicans didn't offer an alternative to ending society as we know it because of science. But so McConnell cost the election. It cost Republicans. McConnell himself. How dare you blame everything on me? Not Trump. I mean, there were missteps. Trump's made a number of missteps, okay? But you could blame McConnell for that. It was the establishment. It was the Republicans who investigated Trump for 4 years that did the Republican Party in, based on a dossier Clinton purchased. Their reverence of the intelligence operatives that don't even reciprocate. Well, I guess they reciprocate with certain Republicans. But anyway, give me your thoughts below. This is an important segment. Share this segment everywhere. I'll be back later tonight for the live stream, and I'll be back numerous times.